it is quite cool. I think everyone in the family has started a fire in their wood stove tonight. So I spent all day gathering more seed from my beans, and I picked some more other beans, that the Violetto pole beans that are ready for seed. I collected some of those. So these are, remember the tongue of fire? You're all familiar with the tongue of fire shell beans. I've spoken about them a few times. This is the tongue of fire pole beans that I'm growing for the first time this year. Now, tongue of fire shell beans, tongue of fire pole beans. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 seeds in the. This is about the average for the tongue of fire bush bean. That's about the average, 6, 7 pods. Okay, I'll be saving this for seed. I set this out so I could do a demonstration, a comparison, if you will. The difference between the tongue of fire bush bean and the tongue of fire pole bean. Now, quite a bit longer. There's 6 seeds in the average pod from the bush bean, and there's 7 seeds in the tongue of fire pole bean variety, even though it's a lot longer. Now I'll show you why. Now I will take a bean out of each. This is what we've got. The one right here is the pole bean. This one is the bush bean. See the difference in the size? So I'm not a big fan at all, folks, of large beans. Just not. Kidney beans, I would have to be really hungry in order to eat kidney beans. They're just too beany for me. There's too much bean per bite. Now, the flavor is good. You know, I could always mash them up and make refried beans or something with them. But there's the difference. So if you like the tongue of fire beans and you don't mind a big bean and you're a little bit low on space, this one here is the pole bean, and it's quite a bit bigger, but you would save yourself some space by growing it up, right? And this is the bush bean variety. It's quite a bit smaller, not so much bean. So if you had room to put, you know, traditional bean rows in, bush bean rows, and then this one here would be okay. So that's the difference right there. As cold as it is, you wouldn't think the mosquitoes would be out, but they're out pretty. They're hungry, folks. They're hungry. So there that is. Now, this is the first year, like I said, growing the tongue of fire pole beans. I never knew they existed until this spring. So I threw together a trellis, and per bean plant, I think you get just as much per just as many beans per plant of the pole bean as you do beans per plant on the bush bean variety. So there you have it. It's a bigger bean. You can grow up instead of out long. They're going to give you about the same amount of bean per plant. So that's what I've learned from it. Again, I'm not a big fan of big beans, even though they are tongue of fire shell beans. Too much bean is just too much for me. So there is that, folks. Like I said, I've been doing my beans. I did, because it was really windy last night, all through the night and this morning, so there was no dew this morning. I didn't crawl into bed until 3:30 this morning, and I got up at 4:45, and that's after about an hour and a half's worth of sleep in 2 days. So it's been a little rough here. So today was a good day to sit and sort beans, um, shell some beans, pick some more dried bean, dried beans from a Violetto to collect some goldenrod, which I'm about a week late on, but they're all taken care of, and them are outside mesh dryer, so they will dry, and that's really good tea. I really enjoy I really enjoy goldenrod tea. I really, really do. So I drink a lot of tea in the winter. I just do. So a lot of people, actually three people this morning asked me what I was doing with all that armload. It was an armload I had of goldenrod. They said that would stuff me up. I can't do that. Goldenrod bothers me. Goldenrod is one of the worst things for me to even be around when it's in blossom. That's what a lot of people think, folks. Now, some people probably are allergic to goldenrod if they drank the tea or mowed it or weed whacked it or rubbed up against it. Some people are hypersensitive to it. Goose fight never stops. And but a lot of people think because the goldenrod blossoms and they come down with allergy symptoms, they blame it on the goldenrod. It's a big, it's just what people refer to it as what's causing their allergies. Most of the time it is ragweed, folks. Now, the goldenrod pollen is quite heavy. It does not, when the wind comes up, it does not take that pollen and blow it into the air so you breathe it. It doesn't do that. It's too heavy, it's too sticky, it just kind of stays there. The goldenrod, about the only way that's going to get pollinated is by the bees, right? So the ragweed, it's that pollen just flies everywhere, and it'll fly for a long ways in the air, folks. And more people are susceptible to being bothered by ragweed rather than the goldenrod. But it seems they don't notice the ragweed, but they notice that all of a sudden their allergies are kicking up and the goldenrod has blossomed, that they blame it on the goldenrod. So I asked people, have you been tested specifically? Have you been tested specifically to see if goldenrod is what's causing your allergy symptoms or if it's ragweed? And no. So, but they won't try the tea. Well, that's good because I didn't pick it for them anyway. I picked it for me, damn it. They can pick their own, right? So anyway, that's drying. I've got a lot done. I'm really, really tired, folks. I am not going to start a fire tonight. I'm just going to grab an extra blanket, close my windows. I think I've got all of them closed now, actually. I had them open during the day. And then I'm going to wash up, tuck the birds in first, wash up, and then probably get a really good night's sleep tonight. So hope you've been well. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all your nice comments. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for any new subscribers. Y'all are coming from everywhere. I love it when you announce where you're from. I don't want your address, folks. I don't want your town. I don't need your city. But when y'all say, like, I just read a comment, this lady just found me today. I think she said Upper State New York. I love it when people announce the location of where they're from. So thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you for any new subscribers. And the mosquitoes. I hope they freeze tonight, folks. I really do. Love you. Bye.